very much. Welcome to SGN Week in Depth. It's an honor to have you here. We have seen a lot of activities that happen over the week. So basically, we were talking about the things that involve Nene Freda Gomez with your career. Can you tell us briefly who is Nene Freda Gomez and how do you get into activism?
Can you repeat your question, please?
Okay, can you tell us briefly who is Nene Freda Gomez? Briefly.
Oh, who is Nene? Well,
Yeah.
a Gambian, born and raised in the Gambia, did my schooling in the Gambia up till high school, traveled to the United States for further studies. And of course, prior to traveling, I've done work in the Gambia. I've worked for water resources. I've worked for Ministry of Fisheries under a project called Surveillance Coordinating Unit. I've worked with the IEC. I've worked with the Guarantee Trust Bank also when it newly opened prior to traveling, and studied and finished. Of course, came back and rejoined the bank, Guarantee Trust Bank, for a few years, and then moved to Sky Bank for a couple of years, of course, and resigned from my work to actively join politics. Yeah, in a nutshell, that's Nene, my professional career. Aside from that, I've been involved in a lot of activism, a lot of youth work, a lot of social work that is concentrated on women and youth. Also, my charity work that I do, I've been doing since 1994. It's in the health sector that is dealing with hospitals and the prisons, the prison system in the country. Again, I'm involved with the Treasure Women Warriors, which is a women-led organization founded by a dynamic, fabulous woman, Ajikumba Dafe. In that network, we deal with in excess of 7,000 women, where we uplift women to financial freedom. Currently, I'm the country coordinator of Global, Home of Medical Mission under the Global Home brand. And I'm the laser person in the country here in the Gambia. And in a nutshell, that's Nene. Who you see, it's what it is.
Actually, thank you very much. Yeah, just to get into the discussion proper, what do you tell us briefly? We know, since you have actually.
I don't know why I am struggling to hear you. My volume is at a maximum, but I can hardly hear you.
What is the problem? Let me see if I can verify.
Can you give me a minute? Let me call my son to help me. Maybe he can do something with this, but I can just not hear you. Hold on a second.
Okay, can you hear me now? How about now? Is it okay?
Okay, you can speak. It's a little bit better.
Okay. So
yeah, it's a little bit better.
Okay. Now let's continue. I was saying that we have seen a lot of activities that happen around you, like Dana Freda Gomez is involved in a lot of things, like you said, from global home to politics and all that. And like
to this.
Yeah. So can you tell us?
Go ahead, I'm listening. Go ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah, okay, good. So can you tell us now what is next for Nene Freda Gomez? The fact that you've been you're not in politics anymore, let me say, because you have been suspended by your political party. Do we see Nene Freda Gomez joining any political party anytime soon?
See, in regards to my political activities, more important issues did arise, and I've chosen to focus my attention on those for the time being. And I really cannot speak of the direction of my involvement in politics because for me, currently, it's not even, it looks like all political parties, or most of them, are in hibernation. So I cannot continue to affiliate or keep um, um, being involved in an organization or institution that is non-existent or inactive. There are bigger issues to tackle, bigger activities to take care of, and I choose to expend my energy on those activities that serve the interests of humanity, activities that impact the lives and livelihood of the citizenry. So that's why I don't even consider anything that has to do with politics at this point in time.
Okay, interesting there. Like, because the reason why I asked the question is because you have been one of the founding members of your political party, but hence you said you will focus your energy on things that are way more important and that are affecting the life of the citizenry. So again, I will take you back a bit about your global home, because we have seen the police the police actually denied you entry to the place the last time I checked. And again, you've won a case in the court and nobody is saying anything about that. I think this is basically something that we have fought for 22 years, that the rule of law and respect for rule of law and justice and freedom for everybody. That's what we fought for. But we can see the same kind of things happening again. So what is happening there around the global home mission in your land in Bijilo?
Well, nothing has changed. The property still legally belongs to the organization that I work for, because the only person, the only place, institution that can change that status is the courts. And the courts still maintained in each of their rulings that the property is legally owned and rightfully owned by the organization, and nothing has changed. So we have seen not too long ago, the president did the foundation stone laying. And of course, that was triggered by the threats I made to him that if he stepped foot on that property, I will sue him. And of course, I did not fail in that. The courts were in vacation. Those processes were instituted, and it is ongoing right now. Because I don't talk when I know that I will not act. You know, I'm not a dog that will bark and not bite. When I bark, be sure I will bite you, and when I bite, I cut a piece off. You understand? So this has to do with legalities. This has to do with rule of law. This has to do with processes that, you know, I don't have control over it. As a sovereign citizen, a patriotic one, a law-abiding one, I always ensure that whatever I do is within the frames of, you know, the rule of law. So the court it's doing what it's supposed to do. My legal team are filing the necessary papers. Whatever needs to be done. Before the courts went on vacation, there was an injunction filed. I mean, right now, I can tell you there's nothing going on apart from the foundation stone laying, which was to tell Nene, I'm the president and you cannot threaten me. I am the bigger boss. I'm the boss of the nation, and I will go there and see what happened. You know, it was all about that, nothing else. Exactly. They knew that they could not do anything further than that, right? They went ahead and did it, which is good.
What is so interesting is that we have seen people online saying that the Radisson Blu Hotel was not in fact true. It's not Radisson Blu. It's not even a 5-star hotel, because you all know Radisson Blu Hotel, like, it's full of it.
Well, Salif, let me tell you something. I keep on telling people, whatever people do right now, it's not for Nene. It's not for my organization. I have went to court. Went to court and fought tooth and nail every process, every step of the way to be able to win those judgments, right? Yeah. And nobody paid the legal fees. Nobody contributed for those legal fees. But now when we got to the stage of, I got judgments and the state, the president is flaunting those judgments, everybody should make it their business and say no to that, because the courts, they're our highest arbiter. That's the last resort. And if the state or the people who are supposed to be the custodian of the rule of law are seen to be flaunting it, that is every citizen's business, and everybody should condemn it. Everybody should come out and stand in solidarity with me. That's a separate, different issue to what I was fighting. That is to get a judgment or to legally be pronounced owners of that property. But people don't see it that way. They take it like this is a Nene problem. I don't like Nene, I'm not going to say anything else. Or this is, you know, a home of medical mission problem. and we don't know who is it. It's not our problem. We don't work there. It's not our problem. But you know what? This is going to come back to haunt all of us in the future. And of course, it has come to play. It has come to play. And I mean, the year has not ended, and we see a repeat of such happening. If everybody had come out and say no to it from the onset, then nobody will be a victim of such. But it's going to happen. It is happening, and it's going to continue to happen unless and until citizens come out and say no to it. So, I mean, it has nothing to do with Nene. Like I say, we are happy that they leveled the premises, they graded it, and that was going to be cost on us. We were going to pay to have that done. They have done it for us free of charge. I'm praying. I want them to get the money and build a hotel. And boy, oh boy, the most state-of-the-art hospital in the sub-region will be one that we will own, continue run, because you build a hotel and then it's returned back to us, we turn it into a hospital. Who wouldn't love that? Who wouldn't love that? You know,
you would.
So let them go ahead and build.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting conversation here. So we have actually saying you on this case I was watching. You were saying that most of these activists, in fact, the organizations that you work with, all of this wonderful work you're doing as an activist, you don't have these organizations coming out to support you even because it's never federal government. So this is the kind of things that we have to fight for. And then if something is wrong, it's wrong with Nene today, it's gonna be wrong forever. What is wrong is always wrong. So it's actually quite baffling at times. Let's move to the issue of Bob Keita. We have seen you in the middle of all of these things happening. We have seen your actively involvement with Bob Keita and how you stood for him. So what was the feeling like when Bob Keita was actually discharged by the courts?
Well, I mean, I guess my feeling, I don't have to explain it because people have seen it. Yeah, exactly. I was over the moon. I was over the moon, honestly, and it is as a result of the pain, the struggles, the ups and downs that we all had to go through to where we got to. That was last week Wednesday. It was a joyful moment. It was we were all elated and happy that finally the journey has come to an end. I, for one, keep on saying this was the result I expected. I was not shocked. I was not surprised. I was not disappointed. I was only concerned about the process that we were all crying about, the process that we were all condemning, the process that we were all speaking against to where we got to. But I'm glad that we realized that something was going wrong. We spoke about it, we advocated, and we sensitized and cut them in their acts that whatever they wanted to do or whatever we thought they wanted to do never get done, and the results came out to be what I wanted. The results came out to be what Bob wanted. So we thank God. It is not by our will, but of course God's will. So thank you to everybody that supported. And now we move on to life.
It's all about moving on, definitely. So definitely it's all about. But we've seen actually something a very interesting development. We actually reported this story on our media. We see Dussano saying, actually taking credit for that, saying that Bob is their Bob. So do you have any reactions to Dussano's statement? We've also seen MC Cham reacted to that. What is going to be your reaction to what Dussano?
Well, that is wishful thinking. Anybody can come out and say whatever you want to say, but it depends on the individual to respond to that or react to what you're saying or do what you're asking for. I mean, Bob is a smart individual, a smart young, gentleman who knows what he wants and he knows what benefits him and whatever. And there's nobody who can sit here and explain to Bob the journey, whatever he's gone through. So if he thinks falling in for those rhetorics or falling into those bohaha of Dussano serves his interest, I mean, the choice is his. But I believe that that's the list of his worries. That's the list of his priorities. Because again, I don't see why I was in a hole and then you come and peep and then go past, peep and pass. You have others come in and pull me out of the hole, then you rush in to push everybody else on the side and want to give me a hug. I will push you inside that hole where I'm coming from. You're going to get back in there. That's one thing that I will not allow. So let's see what Bob does. Because again, those are personal choices. Those are personal decisions that I do not have the right to tell him not to. As a brother, I can advise him. As a brother, I can guide him like I've always done to him. But I cannot make decisions for him. I believe, though, that this is one of the decisions that he will not fall for, and this is something that he will not be carried away with. That much I believe
Yeah,
confidently.
definitely. Thank you so much for that. But again, Nene, like there's a lot of happening in the Gambia. Like in a week, we had Bob Keita, we had the acute kidney issue, we had a lot of other issues happening, and then in all of those issues, you're always in the center of all of it. So in the acute kidney issue again, we've seen you in the press conference with Madi Jabate, with MC Chairman, others. So tell us, what is the mood like there in the Gambia? Because basically, having 69 people died out of a medication that was not vetted by our government, that is outrageous. So tell us, what is the mood like there?
I like it when you said all these issues you are always there. You know what I have to say into that? I'm a Gambian, a sovereign citizen, and li all of them wax ne rek lo bokka do xaar ñu oola ci dang ci wara
I
taxaw.
love that.
Man
Yes.
Gambian la te anything loo xam ne dafa affect Gambian bi parce que su ma doonee Gambian ndax directly affect na ma bu ma affectu tey suñ ko doxut wax ko jubantil ko ëllëg mun na maa dal so moo taxit man dama dee bokk ci loo xam ne yëfi Gambia la pour ñu make sure ne lu war moo fa nekka pour ëllëg a sibiru parce que tey laa xam suma ëllëg xaw ma ko bu doonut man mun naa doon suma doom o suma mbokk ku ma daal. Now,
Yes.
coming back to this 66 plus children, this saga, it's heartbreaking. It's unfortunate that these beautiful souls, are gone. But we are saying, as for me, as a mother, as a young person, as a Gambian, we cannot sit and watch and say because it's not our own. Today is not our own, tomorrow it could be. This is a government that we entrust to look after the welfares of the citizens, to see about their lives and livelihood. If they fail to do it, we need to stand and hold them to account. That's what we
Yes.
need to do. Now,
Definitely.
having medication imported into the country unchecked, for me, is the height of negligence, is the height of carelessness, is the height of incompetence. And of course, why is all this happening? It's corruption, it's greed, it's a lack of contentment, all put together. That's why this thing is happening, and we cannot continue to watch this happen. 66 plus babies, it's
Yeah.
too much for
It's too
people
much.
to
Yeah.
keep quiet. And as Gambians, the Madis, the Timas, the Honorable Degen, the Omar Saibo, the Omar Danso, Ndai Fatima, MC Cham, we're all Gambian, progressive minded, that are sitting and say, we need to stand in solidarity with these mothers and show them that you are not alone. A lot of people are standing by watching you cry alone, but we will not, because we are mothers, we are fathers, we are uncles, we are sisters, we are brothers. That is what is expected of a patriotic citizen. Somebody
Yeah.
ku am hol, ku am yermande, ku am halat, ku buga domi adama. Why xam nga nak kula ñe du la yërem te administration buñ am ni dañ xey rek nekk ci. So moo taxit ñu ngi ñee ku nekk buga mel ni ku nekk. So moo tax duñ dimbale kenn lu mooy yàq rek la ñuy def. Te ñun dañ ne dañuy taxaw gis ne yàq du am. Lu fii defar rek lañ fiy defar waaye yàq daru fee am.
Yeah. Definitely. So, Nene, are we expected to see Auntie Nene in the November demonstrations? Are we expected to see you to demonstrate to say that we don't want corruption in our country anymore? We want our president to do something about corruption. We want our president to do something about the lives that we've lost. We don't just want like commissions being instituted all the time. We want action. Are we expected to see you in those demonstrations?
Well, like I say, if the need arises for that to happen, any activity that is for the interest of the citizenry, I'm not going to go out there advocating for an individual or a group of people. I always advocate for the interest of the citizenry. I advocate for injustice. I'm a believer of social justice, right? And that's what I do. So anything that has to do with the interest of the citizenry, the lives and livelihood of people, oh, you don't need to call me. Let me just hear about it, and I'll be there live and direct, definitely. So, but anything else, honestly, I am not interested. I get into things that have impact the lives of people, things that serves purpose, things that add value, things that are impactful. Otherwise, honestly, I really don't have time for anything else.
So we've seen that in the past parliamentary elections, you were actually a candidate for Serekunda West, and then unluckily for you, you didn't make it through. So what is your relationship like with the current MP of Serekunda, and what is how committed are you to for you guys working together to make sure the betterment of Serekunda is pushed? Because we know that you are somebody that is actually passionate about these things, So how is that going? How is that going? Actually, I'm interested to know.
Thank you very much. From the start, I have said that winning would be nice because I wanted to go to the parliament because I believed I was going to make a huge change. I was
Yeah.
going to impact.
Yeah.
I was going to add value. But of
Yeah.
course, I got into it knowing that I could win and I may not win. I
Yeah.
have never used the word that I lost because for me, it was not losing. For
Yeah.
me, as long as one person had heard me, one person followed my journey and realized that, oh, this is something I want to do, and I saw Nene do it, then which means I can do it. For me, mission accomplished. It was not about all about winning. For me, it was about representation. For me, it was not about how to call it, doing anything at all costs just to be there, right? And yes, I'm not in the parliament right now, but I follow. And of course, I'm not in the parliament, but the current parliamentarian, Madi Sise, it's a very, very humble and nice guy that I've met, we've talked, we've exchanged, and we are working together. Whatever idea I have, I run it by him. I mean, whatever idea I have, you know, I call him. I work with the councillors. I am from Latrikunda Yiringanya. The councillor is a brother. We grew up together from childhood. This is somebody I know very well. We are working together. I run things by him. I run things by the mayor because I live in the KMC. Latrikunda is in KMC, and KMC is my municipality. So the betterment and development of KMC, you know, it's a development for me and the people I love and my immediate family. So anything that is for the municipality that I can do, collaborate, partner, you know, I am doing that. So for me, it's not only going to the parliament. You can do things even without being in the parliament, and that's what I believe in, and that's what I am doing. Yes, I mean, Mari is a UDP, from a political party UDP. But, you know, when it comes to the constituency, it's not a UDP constituency. It's a
Definitely.
Serekunda West
Definitely.
constituency that I am a part and parcel of. So regardless of where Madi is coming from, that will not stop me from partnering and collaborating with Madi and trying to help him succeed in developing or doing work for the municipality. Likewise, for the constituency, likewise the ward where I come from, Latakunda Yiringanya, likewise the municipality. So for me, it's not about partisanship. For me, it's about where you're coming from. It's about work. It's about impacting. That's what I believe in. I'm an action-oriented person. And for me, partisan issues don't stop me from doing what needs to be done. So, yes, I wanted to be in the parliament. I'm not there. But for me, I think I'm the biggest winner here.
Yeah, definitely.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm the biggest winner. And I am still continue to do what I was doing prior to getting into the race. And still doing it and will continue to do it.
Interesting. Interesting. Actually, I'm loving this conversation. So, but before we let you go, it's just starting with this interview that we've scheduled. It's almost the time is going. Tell us what are your expectations? What are your expectations as far as this acute issue is concerned? What are your expectations from government, and what message would you send to the president if he is listening to this program?
Oh well, you see, every time I talk about the president, I say I have no expectations because for me, I hate disappointments. You know, where disappointment arises, then there was expectations prior. I do not
Yeah.
expect anything from this guy because you know he has reneged on promises too many times for me to fool myself and be expecting from him. He is the president. He's expected to work. He's expected to serve the people, and that we're not supposed to clap for him. We're not supposed to beg him. We pay him to do that. In regards to this particular issue, they have failed yet again to do what they needed to do. And they have failed because if they had done what they're supposed to do, these beautiful souls would not have died. So they are responsible. I have said it on every platform that I don't think these people died. They were murdered. They were killed by these people that we entrust with the affairs of looking after the lives and livelihood of the people in terms of the healthcare, the health system. They murdered these beautiful kids. And murder is a crime. Right?
Yeah.
When you murder
Yeah.
somebody, you need to be prosecuted. You need to be
Yeah.
held to account and taken to court. And that's what I believe that should happen. I am not going to expect because if it's left to this administration under the leadership of Adama Barrow, it ain't going to happen. So that's why we are coming up and saying we will push them, we will put pressure on them and hold them to account to ensure that the right thing is done, the needful is done. That's why we're coming together and putting this advocacy, this campaign, and we are not relenting. Let's go. Wherever they think we're going to stop, we're not stopping, because we are so determined to ensure that we put the amount of pressure that is required for them to listen to us and do what they need to do. Somebody has to be held accountable because somebody messed up somewhere. So whoever it may be, the person needs to be, put on check. And that's what we are making sure that happens.
Well, the calls for Dr. Samate to resign have been actually in the high, you can say. Because are you also saying the same thing that Dr. Samate should resign definitely from his position? Because the fact that he is health minister and all of this happened under his watch, what is your message to him?
My brother, resignation is not in the DNA of Gambians. So if we're expecting that him to resign, you must have some some morals in you, right? To think about that. So if that is not with anybody, you wouldn't even think that the person will do that. But then what the president, who is the person that hired him, should do is to fire him. You understand? I mean, I know Dr. Samate very well. Dr. Samate is let me get it right, was a very close brother to me. We were very close once upon a time. But I cut him off because I do not believe the way he is running that administration. And I believe that he is more into campaigning and advancing the interest and the agenda of the president than advancing the interests of an institution that is very much important, that is to look after the lives and livelihood of people. Dr. Samate needs to go back to the theater. He was doing absolutely well there. There he is good. That's what he can do. But when it comes to administration, he has woefully failed himself first and failed the citizenry. So he should do himself the honorable thing and just excuse himself. But I'm not expecting he will do it, because again, you have to really have integrity. You have to have morals in you to know that something is not right, and the best thing to do is to excuse myself. So, but I mean, here we are. We are not relenting. We will continue to speak against all that, malpractices, all the lapses and the holes that are happening.
Well, finally, I have this question. The elections for the mayoral elections are getting very close. Are we seeing Nene collaborating with Talib? Are we seeing Nene backing Rahim Malik Lowe? What are we expecting to see from Nene? Elections are going very, very close.
Rahim Malik Lowe, a dynamic woman, a great woman. I would want to see her, run for a second term, because again, even if anybody dare to say Rahim Malik Lowe should not run, who else? Who else would you recommend who's better than her? Who else would you recommend who can do better than what she is doing? I haven't seen that. So definitely, I would say give it a shot. And great woman, strong woman, whom I will give my blessing and my support, right? I mean, I live in the KM. I'm not from Banjul. I live in the KM, but by virtue that she's a woman and very strong woman, very woman cause, woman agenda oriented, I will support and give her my blessing in any way I can. Now, coming back to the municipality that I live, it's Talib. Again, the same thing. Who else is better than Talib? Who else can do better than Talib? Who else is there that we will believe that will do better than what Talib has done? I saw people say, def fidara, but can moy ñew kuy def lu Talib did. Man, that's what I want to see. As far as we are right now, I have a very great working relationship with Talib, and I will be more than happy to stand in a platform and endorse Talib, because I haven't seen anybody else who is more, developmental oriented than Talib. Come to KM and do something different.
I'm sorry to say this, but the rumors have it that your former boss may actually be the one to run against Talib in the KM. What would you do in the circumstances?
Well, rumors. So many rumors have come. I've heard that. He's promised a ministerial position. I've heard that his NPP is going to put him up for Birkama Area Council. I don't know. These are all rumors from the grapevines. He has not said anything to me. And again, hey, for me, the great Oprah Winfrey said, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. Okay, so for me, my interactions with people depends on how they treated me or how they portray themselves. This is my mantra in life. When I deal with people, three things. First, I treat you the way you want to treat me. Second, I treat you the way you want to be treated. And thirdly, I treat you the way you treat me.
Exactly.
Is that clear?
Yeah, yeah, very
Yeah.
clear.
So, I mean, whatever he wants to do, I wish him all the best. But I cannot authoritatively sit here and say this is what he's going to do because he hasn't said anything to me.
But
All I
now
hear from the
the,
grapevines.
the question is, if he should be running against Talib, what are you gonna do? Are you going back to your former
Well,
party, or are you
there's
gonna
nothing I'm gonna
endorse Talib?
do. It now, there's nothing I'm gonna do. Now it's a matter of looking at two individuals who want something. Now, I
Yeah.
mean, I live in the KM. I am going to advocate or support that the individual that is going to advance the interests of the municipality that serves my interest and my family. I am not going to support an individual because I know you. I'm not going to support individual because you're my friend. I'm not going to support an individual who will speak two today and tomorrow you say, no, I said 35. That's very, very important. Character for me is really, really important. And that's something also I need to consider before I support anybody, whatsoever position or whatsoever constituency or municipality or wherever, whatever position.
Well, we have to wrap it up until then. We said 30 minutes. It's over 30 minutes now. We are so honored to have you
I'm
here.
happy we're wrapping up, yeah.
The police PRO actually didn't honor our invitation. We don't know what happened. She actually promised to be here, but unfortunately she is not. We hope to have her here next time, because if she was here, this was gonna be a different conversation because having there and the police PRO would have been really great. So, final words before we
Did
say
she
bye.
did she chicken out because I was coming? Tell her
Well,
I'm a fan. Tell her I'm a fan. I was excited to be on the platform with her.
with her,
I've been
exactly. I
following her
know.
work, and
Yeah,
I am a big fan, honestly. So I
yeah,
would have
exactly.
loved to be on a platform with her. So please tell
Yeah,
her when you
exactly.
talk to her.
Absolutely. She's doing an amazing job. Thank you very much. So,
Yeah.
what final words before we go? Final words.
Well, I just appreciate the platform. You're doing a great work, Salil. Despite the tight schedule and everything, I just wish
Yeah,
to come because it's the first time me being on this platform,
yeah, yeah.
and just
This is honest.
appreciating your work and
Yeah,
just telling Gambians, this is our country. Whatever we do today, it's for us. If we fail to do it, then definitely posterity is going to judge us. And
definitely.
for me, this is one thing I always try and avoid to hear. You ought to know better. You know, it's not a good feeling for anybody to tell you that. So whatever I can do legally and rightfully so for humanity, I am more than happy to do it. For me, I tell people this is a calling. It's not an nanny wanting to look for bows. If I wanted bows, I tell people I am so gorgeous, damn gorgeous. I can concentrate on other things, you understand, to look for bows, not to be doing these hard, difficult activities that, every week I lose my voice.
Yeah.
Every week I lose my voice.
Difficult,
Every week I fall
honestly.
sick because
Yeah.
it's not a pleasant terrain for anybody to be. So this is not anywhere that anybody wanted. And trust me, if it was anywhere that you can easily get bows, it would have been flooded with people, everybody there. But the terrain is lonely. Not a lot of people want to do it because it's uncomfortable. You'll get all kind of insults, all kinds of criticism, all kinds of chastisement. It's just not easy. But for me, whatever it is, I wear it with a badge of honor because I know I am doing it from my heart. I am submerged in the service of humanity. It's a calling for me. It's a mission. It's an assignment, and it has to be done. It has to be completed, and it has to be completed with diligence and to the best of my ability. So thank you very much,
Yeah.
and my best wishes and prayers to your viewers, the whole Gambia, and all of us. Thank you,
Yeah.
Salim.
Thank you very much, Auntie Nene. I'm so honored to have you here. I'm so happy that
It's a pleasure.
uh,
It's a pleasure.
yeah, thank you. So that's all we have for you in this edition of SGN Week in Depth. Hoping to see you next weekend with an amazing guest. And it's a bye bye from my end. Thank you.